Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brother machine and I wanted to show you another thing that was a game changer for me. And these are things that I wish the Cricut kind of had picked up on, but who knows, you don't know if there's a patent situation or what there is. But such as the stamped images. I know the Cricut has the print and cut feature, but I don't want to, like scan in a picture of my images and have it draw it. I want to use what I stamped out and colored in it to cut it out for me really quickly. So I see this as a die cutting machine, as well as, like I said, what I'm about to show you. It's something that's a game changer for me, and I really wish that Cricut had done this. I'm going to show you about the font, filling in the font. I'm so excited about this. That way when I'm working on invitations, it will actually fill in the font for me and I don't have to sit there and color it in like I did before. As well as I figured something else out, and I'll show you that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit pattern because we're going to go into the font. So I'm going to click on the font here, and the font that I'm going to utilize today is this one right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type out CrystalAnn. So I'm doing the caps, so I have this button clicked. I'm going to click C. I'm going to click it again to get some lowercase here. Start typing this out. You can use your pen or your finger. I'm really enjoying using my finger, honestly. And then I'm going to push it again to get a caps. Do the Ann. Oop, let me take that. I want to do those small. Okay, so just like that. All right, so you're going to hit OK. So once you get to this screen, which you're probably barely going to be able to see here, this is where you can mess with your spacing. So if I wanted to bring my letter spacing in just a little bit, which is already to 0, but you can mess with that a little bit more on another screen. But my sizing right here, which I could also mess with on another screen, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to hit set. When I get to this screen, I leave it alone. I hit set. All right, now when I have it on my mat right here, I'm going to go ahead and go to this top one right here that shows like a square or circle and a triangle. You're going to click on this. And at this point, this is where you're going to click this one right here that has a box with 2 arrows. All right, so now I could go ahead and bring that height and width in. So I'm going to click that width and I'm going to bring it way down. I need it to be about 4 inches. So I'm going to come on down until I hit about 380 is what I'm going to do. All right, so then, and now, like I said, the letter spacing is all the way down. I was thinking you could play with it a little bit more here, but I guess you can't. So this is where you're going to fill your font in. So you want to click this button right here where it has the black box and a picture of your pen. So you're going to click that, and now that is going, you want it, once it's purple, you know that it's ready to go. So now it has filled in my font. So I'm going to click OK. Now, if you don't fill in your font, this is what it's going to do, just like we've normally done with the Cricut. And once I was done with that, I would go ahead and go back and fill it in with my pen and stuff. But we don't have to do that anymore with this machine. So I have it where it's filled in. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it on my mat where I want it. I want it kind of right up here in the corner. I'm going to click OK. Get my piece of paper on my mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this up here in the corner. Just like this. All right, so once I have it on there, I'm going to go ahead and get this loaded. Make sure that's on there really good. Now, I did notice that the Cricut mats are stickier than these mats. I will say that, but I haven't had any shifting so far, so I'll keep you posted on that. We're going to take our regular, which I did just get in the mail, the universal, and I'm fixing to show you guys that now. So this is going to be where we can use all sorts of kind of pins. So we're fixing to try that out. But this is the one that comes with your machine, and what you're going to do is you're going to just open it up just like this on the back, all right? You're going to take your little pin that it comes with. You're going to drop it right down in there, shut that, and this spot on top is to hold your cap, all right? So then what you're going to do, drop that down in there. You can see the tip sticking out there. Drop it down in there, close that. All right, I'm going to check my paper again, make sure it's in place, and we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. I'm going to, oh, sorry, back it up. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to hit draw. All right, and then it's going to tell me it's going to take 2 minutes. I'm going to hit start. right, so now it's done. So what you're going to do is click OK, and then we're just, now, I'm going to show you here in just a minute another trick, but let me go ahead and show you now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the unload button, and now you can see that it filled that in perfectly. So if you don't fill it in, this is what it's going to look like, and then if you fill it in, that's what it's going to do. And you can see how awesome that thing just goes back and forth and fills those in. It's really cool. All right, so the only thing I will say with the Cricut, and I imagine if you do it online, you can get this letter spacing a whole lot better, because Cricut really can get those perfectly. But now let me go ahead and show you another trick, and you don't want to unload your mat when you do this next one, okay? So I'm going to just flip this paper around. All right. Just like that. I'm going to hit home, okay, because we're going to try something else, all right? So let me go ahead and, I've got my paper on my mat. We're going to hit pattern. I could probably go ahead and load this ahead of time, I imagine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load that now. I'm going to come back to the font. This time I'm going to choose this one here. I'm going to do the caps. I'm going to do all caps on this one. All right, so I did my name just like that. I'm going to hit OK. So same thing, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to go to set. I'm going to come back up to this box that's up here at the top. And at this point, I'm going to click on the box with the arrows. And then I'm going to bring my size down again. I'm going to bring it down maybe something like that, to about the 5. All right, I'll put it back in the corner here in just a minute when we get over there. All right, so I'm going to hit that fill line again. Once it's purple, you know it's ready to go. I'm going to click OK. Get that up in the corner over there. Hit OK. All right, so I'm going to hit draw, and I'm going to hit start. It almost reminds me, hopefully you guys can hear me over this, it almost reminds me of a printer, the sound where it's like, that reminds me of a printer like printing like laser jet. It's pretty cool. Making sure my paper didn't shift. Okay, so I want to stop right here because before I unload this, you can see, I'm going to leave it right here. See how it colored that in? Amazing. So I'm pretty pumped. You can see how big these letters are here, which you'll see here in just a minute when I bring it out. But I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to come back. I tested this theory and it worked, all right? So I'm going to hit cut. So I'm going to leave everything alone. So now it's on cut. I'm going to switch this back to my blade. All right, just like that. Get that down in there. Close that. It's still on my, you know, you want to make sure your settings are right. I got it on cut. It tells me it's going to take a minute. I'm going to hit start. All right, so there it was, really fast. So I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna unload it now. So now what it did, I'm gonna pull this away so you can see how well that colored that in. I'm gonna pull that away, and now you can see, hold on, I got one letter sticking here. I changed my blade, you know how it said 5 last time we did it? I changed it to a 4, and it does good. That way it doesn't cut down onto my mat. All right, so I've got this little piece I need to take out. But that way, if you want to cut these out individually after you fill them in for a scrapbook or something like that, you'd be able to just do that and pull these right off. Which, hold on, where's my scraper? I like to use the scraper so I can keep my fingers off of it. All right, to keep that sticky. So you can just get down in there and get your letters just right off, just like that. So I'm really loving that. That way, like I said, if you're working on a bulletin board and you really need those colored in. But another cool thing, you don't have to just fill them in like this. You could actually fill them in. Let me show you. You're going to go to your settings right here. You're going to come, see where it says cut speed, cut pressure, all these things. You're going to go down until you see fill pattern. You could come here, click that. You could actually fill it in with these patterns instead of having it black. I just have mine automatically set to black. So what I would do is come in and change that so that way it could be a cool pattern. So if you're working, like I said, on a scrapbook or something like that, I'm really loving. So to me, this is a game changer with the whole filling in, especially if I'm working on an invitation. I'm not cutting individually. I'm really pumped about that. And I'm imagining when I go, I still have not went on their like design space. It'll be really cool too whenever I'm working on an invitation to get those all done. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let's try out some of these pins. The first one I want to do is I want to work on black paper, and I want to try out a white gel pen. So let's try that first. I'm going to go ahead and get this on here really quick. Alright, I'm going to load that. I like loading mine while I'm waiting for stuff, so that way my mat's just there out of my way. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to, this pin holder is the one that comes with it, but we're not going to use it because I'm going to use a universal one. So I'm going to go ahead and get my cap back on my pin here. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up this guy and see how it works. And I got mine off of Amazon, and I'll have it linked down below. And I want to say it was like $13. I really can't remember. Okay, so you're going to have this right here, which is going to just slide straight in. So right here, you see your arrows. You're going to slide straight in here like this. And that's so when you get your pin in here, you can have that right height. You put a little piece of your scrap paper in here that you're working on. So I want a little piece of this black. So I'd want to take a little piece of that black right down here at the bottom. You just cut out a little square so you can have that thickness to make sure that your pin is going to reach the right height. So let's go ahead and mess with that now. Okay, so the pin we're using today is this white gel pen right here, this jelly roll right here. When you go to get your pin in there, you're going to put this piece like this, and that way you can have that paper right where it's going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear off a little piece of this paper. I'm trying to do this where you guys can see. Get a little piece of this paper in here, just like that. So basically you need that to be on that paper, and you need that paper because, like I said, you want that right thickness of paper because all paper is different. Cardstock. So anyways, you're going to want it right there. And then what you would do is you would take this and you would take it all the way around until it's really tight on there. Okay, but this is as tight as it will go, and it's not really holding that insecure. So I have noticed on these pins it needs a little something. So what I've noticed that people are doing is taking their pin, like I said, hopefully you guys can see this and I'm not all over the place. They're taking their pin and they take a little piece of this double-sided adhesive here, and you could even take like one of those pencil grippers, and you want to get that on there just like that because this just needs a little something. So I'm going to get that on there just like that. All right. So just like that, and I'm going to leave that plastic on there, paper on there, okay? So then what I'm going to do, take this again. Where's my paper? All right, get my scrap paper in there just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this down in there. I need to make sure this is opened all the way back up. Let's push that down in there. Oh, you know what? I think I need that further up. So we need this further up. So I'm going to go ahead, let me figure out. So maybe like right in here. We'll get it right in here and see if that's going to work. All right, let me get that down in there. Make sure that's going to be, okay, that's good. So basically on your pin, you want it right about there. So where it's right, where you got the, still have the little curly there and the two L's. Hopefully you guys can see that. That needs to be on the outside. So it's going to go right about there. So you're going to go ahead and get that pushed down in there. And like I said, get that piece of paper on there. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to slide that in there. All right. So I know that that's in there. So we're going to test this theory. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten that up as tight as I could get it. So now I've got it in there. All right, so that's good. So now that I've got that ready to go, hopefully that's not too confusing, I'm going to drop this down in here just like we normally would. I'm going to close that up. Hopefully I've got it down in there far enough. We're about to test it out. All right, so I'm going to hit OK because we're just going to go home here. Okay. Let me go exit out of here. And let me go back home. Okay, just want to go do something different. Let's go over here and see if there's not something that I can do. Let's try the snowflake. So I'm going to try this little snowflake here just like this. And I'm going to hit OK. Okay. And I'm going to want to fill it in. And I think that size should be pretty good. Maybe I'll bring it down because the height, I want it to be at least 3. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll do it over here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to hit this thing up here, this, and then the height is what I'm wanting to mess with. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to take the fill line back off, so that way it'll let us, it won't let you adjust it if the fill line's already clicked. So you need to do your adjustments before. I'm going to take this down to about a 3, so I'm going to hold that down. Maybe about 271 is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to bring that up to that corner. I've got my paper down already. I'm going to hit OK. And we're going to, our mat's already loaded. I hit OK again. I'm going to hit draw. And I've got it filled in. It says 3 minutes, so we're going to hit start. And you can see how fast this machine just kind of gets up and goes. All right, just like that, it's done. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm going to unload it. So that is with the gel pen. So you can see how nicely that came out. And I really like, because you can see where the lines have kind of been moving and stuff, it just kind of gives it some texture. And that looks really cool. So that is with, hopefully I can pull this off. It's kind of gotten a little bit sticky. It's kind of, I say the mat's not sticky and then it gets stickier. All right, so just like that. Isn't that cool with that gel pen? So I'm really excited about that. That looks amazing. And then if I would have left that on here, and if I wanted to cut it out, and I should have done that, I should have left it alone, we could have went back, hit the cut, and it would have cut that out for me. So just so you know that that is an option. But let's go ahead and try out a couple more pens while we're here. So once again, I'm going to load this on here. And we're also going to see how well these mats hold up, like I've talked about with time, because I have heard that they don't last very long, but we're going to find out. I'm going to leave this little guy on here. It's not going to bother me. So that way I can have it ready for the next time. Now, what I want to try out, we have Sharpie pins. So I just want to kind of show you fitting wise is what I'm going to do, because they're all going to do the same thing. So we're going to try out a few different pins here. So I've got this Sharpie in here. This is one with a fine point. And we're going to tighten it all the way and see. I think that's all the way. So it's got a little bit of movement here. So once again, I would add just a little bit of something, maybe just a little bit of regular tape is what I would do. Let me see, hold on, because I need to actually have it in here to see the depth. Okay, let me bring that back up so you kind of know where you're sticking it. So it does have some movement. So definitely just stick a little bit of, because I wouldn't want to leave it like that, because I would think once it pushed down on it, it's going to pop it up. So I'd add just a little bit of regular tape to that one. So that should work. Let's see here. This is a regular Bic marker here. So we're going to slide that dude out. And that, oh, I got to unlock it. We're going to slide that dude. I wonder, and then also test it from the opposite side. So if we put it from that side, nope, too much. So that one would not fit because that has this big old piece here. I wanted to try out the micron pins, which these are going to be a little bit skinnier, so I think they're going to need a little bit of that tape. So they are going to need a little bit of that tape, and that could probably work with that double-sided adhesive there. And let's see, we've already tried it. These are the Crayola Super Tips here. So we're going to try this one out. Oh, I keep forgetting to unlock it. Put that guy down in there. And get that locked. Okay, this one will let you, I'm pretty sure this one's going to let us go all the way around. So what I'm going to do is try to figure out where this guy needs to be on here. And I'm going to have it sitting in here while I try to adjust without touching that. All right, I think that should probably be good. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that down because it don't let you go all the way. So I'm pretty sure this one's going to be totally fine. Let me try to go around a little bit more. There we go. Just like that. Nope, it still feels loose. Like it's kind of hard to take around. but it still feels kind of loose. You guys can kind of see in there. I would add a little bit of tape to that one as well, but I think the super tips are going to be really cool to play with. But yeah, once again, I would add a little bit of, adhesive to that. All right, Tombow. So the Tombow ones are the ones that have the tip like this on the end. So I wanted to see if that would work. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Tighten that up. So once again, all of these are going to have like where they fit, but they're still a little bit loose. So I personally would see if I can't get it around a little bit more. I don't know. I think the Tombows are going to be okay without that. So the Tombows will go in here as well. And you'd want to just kind of adjust that. So there's the Tombows, and we may test that one out here in just a second since we don't need nothing. All right, so you got your Tombows. We got, let's see, I had a couple more. I think maybe that, oh, also, these are the same size as the Cricut pins, and I'll show you that in just a second. But these are the American Craft, and these ones are like paint markers. They're very opaque. So let me go ahead and open these up really quick. It's out really quick. So these are the American Craft, which, like I said, are the exact same as the Cricut. So you can use these in your Cricut machine as well. Slide this guy in there. And get that all the way over. So these are loose. So the Cricut ones and stuff are going to be loose. But like I said, add a little bit of that double-sided adhesive or some regular tape on these. But I definitely want to check these ones out. Those are going to be pretty cool on that black paper. And like I said, those are the exact same size as the Cricut that I'm going to show you guys just so you can see. And let's see. So we got our Cricut pin here just like this. And I just like the fact that if you've got, you know, your machines, you can use universal, especially if you find these on, if you don't have a Cricut and you find these on clearance or something, you can use them. So they're going to do that same thing. Now, if you shoved them down further, it would go in there right, but it can't go down that far. It needs to be somewhere right about in here, like that. So what you're going to do, sorry guys. So what you're going to do is you're going to need to add a little bit of that tape to it as well. And like I said, you may not have to use double-sided adhesive every time, but it may be just like regular tape or whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and try out a couple of these pins here, like that Tombow. Let's go ahead and check that out really quick and just see how it'll work. I'm going to go ahead and stick with that same snowflake. All right. So, or actually, we'll go back and do some fonts. Let me, okay, let's do pattern. Let's do some font. This one, let's just do love. Okay, that way we have it. And let me hit this thing again. We're going to come back. We're going to bring the width in just a little bit. Just like that. And I'm going to hit the fill line, hit OK. Move that where I want it to be, just like that. All right, I've got my paper in there. So now let's go ahead and get that Tombow back in here. All right, we're going to hit OK. And OK, we're going to hit draw and start. Okay, so we're going to hit OK. We're going to hit unload. And now you can see when I first started out, my pin was just a little bit too low. That's why you want to put that paper in there. But it pushed its own self back up. So it first drug right here, and then it was able to pick itself up. But that was with the Tombow pen. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Like I said, this is going to be pretty cool using it for a scrapbook. And I will say, it seems more and more, you can see where that let go. The more and more you use one area, the more it gets sticky, and I'm not really liking that. I'm not know what's going on. Like maybe I need to continue to keep that clean, but look how much that stuck to my mat after time. So I will have to be careful on that and kind of figure out what's going on. And it could be with the pressure of it filling in or something. I'm not too sure. But I'm going to come back and clean that probably with a baby wipe here in just a little bit and just kind of see what happens. But that was it for today. I just kind of wanted to show you the pin feature of filling that stuff in. I'm really excited about that, and then just kind of talk to you that I feel, personally, I'm pretty excited to have this as an extra in my craft room for as basically a die cutting machine, or when I'm in a hurry and I need something cut out that this may have that I don't need the internet for. I can take it on the go to the school, do a bulletin board, something like that, and it's going to cut all your materials. It can cut fabric, it can cut vinyl and all those, but we're going to test them all out, so those will be in other videos. But I wanted to show you this pin because I was really excited. I had to test this thing out right away because the feeling in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.